I've always wanted, like, because 12 is one of my, I really love 12, and I just feel like Ignis and Balthier would get along. I've always wanted, like, because 12 is one of my, I really love 12, and I just feel like Ignis and Balthier would get along so well.
Shall I tell you just how well Ignis and Balthier do get on?
You're his friend, aren't you?
We went to university together, me and Gideon.
Really? I had a feeling. I was like, there's something in me that thinks they know each other. I just feel like y'all, if I could ever get you guys to actually have a conversation as your characters, it would just be so amazing.
Well, we must try and make it happen then.
Totally. But yeah, I know, like, do you know Balthier's character pretty well?
I do.
I just feel like y'all, like, that would just be such a cool, like, interaction.
It would be fun, wouldn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Balthier is
I
awesome.
must ask him. I'll ask him.
Yay!
Put it online.
Scale of 1 to 10, how hard am I going to cry during
Lots of tissues.
That's all. I don't know you yet, so I don't know what your scale's like.
40 like these is a pretty easy cry.
Okay, then you're gonna cry hard. No, I built it up too much. No, you won't cry hard. I don't know. It's hard for me to say.
I cried all the way through chapter 10.
Please don't say that.
Welcome at the back. Hey, look at you guys. Yeah.
Silly question I've asked all the guys, so I'll ask you. If you could pick a theme song for Ignis, what would it be? And it can't be Stand By Me.
Theme song.
There'll be no bitching in my kitchen.
I'm glad Seth has got his earbuds. Let me think about that. I'm going to get back to you.
I'll get in the autograph line and I'll ask you. So you've got a couple of hours.
Thank you.
When you joined Ray for his little Periscope chat last week, you may have already answered that this weekend, but I'm going to ask anyway. You said that there's a line you would use a lot to get you ready to be Ignis. What was that?
You know, it's really quite simple, and I've said it before. It's just his name. It's just not.
I thought so.
I stand in front there, I look at him and I just start going, knocked. Oh, knocked. And then I find myself like right in character. It's like a parent, I think. I just become a parent in that way.
I'm not going to McDonald's.
Thank you.
Obviously a lot of people in this room have spent over 150 hours listening to Ignis talk.
I apologize.
No, don't apologize.
Talk more.
A very deep personal connection to him and affiliation with him. And I'm sure that feels like a lot of responsibility to you. But do you feel like any of him, either has he changed you, or have you felt like you put part of yourself into him in any way?
That's a lovely question. You know what? I think it is in a sort of strangely meta way. It has changed me, obviously, for 3 years. And initially you go and you just do what you think is best for the character, obviously. And there was a sense of, people have been waiting for this for 10 years. So I did have that in the back of my mind. But I try not to, you often can't let the enormity of the thing as an actor, it can sort of stultify you, it can drop you like at the knees. So you try not to get into that space too much because it's inhibitive of your work. But I knew that, and I didn't want anybody to, I was like, guys, we better not F this up, right? So that was my sort of sense, but having thought that and said that, I had to let it go, because then you've got to concentrate on bringing the character to life, and then you become sort of a technician, and you hopefully let some flow through, and you create a character and let that happen. That's taken 3 years, and we're still in process, right? We're not done yet, which is amazing. And it's a gift that keeps giving. But in terms of it changing me, certainly, maybe not in the booth, but the reflection that comes back through all of you guys. I don't mean to get soppy, and I'm not getting soppy. I'm just sort of telling you factually. Like, this somehow, the combination of these myriad technicians and artists has led to this moment, right now. Like we're all here because of an army of people who are specialists. And somehow magic has happened through that process. And reflected back is everybody here, and you're as much now, and always were going to be a part of the process as much as any of the technicians, because obviously art needs an audience, it needs to be observed, it needs to be consumed, enjoyed, integrated, or thrown away. And here we all are. And I've just seen, I've had the most amazing interactions with people over the course of Final Fantasy 15 coming out. I've had people come up on the street, I've had people at parties, I've had people wherever come up and sort of talk about it. And for people who are, I've had guys come up and go, bro, I'm not a crier, but, and I'm like, that's amazing to me, that sort of inveterate gamers can come up, and new gamers alike come up and they sort of go, I was moved, something in that, something that you guys did, and look, no one can take the credit individually at all, but something happened and it touched people, and man, that's the only reason that artists want to make art, is to touch people. And the fact that it's so obviously, the fact that we're all sitting here together has touched people, that changes me, because everybody has taken what's touched them and they've integrated it into who they are. Somehow they've consumed the art and then they're reflecting it back. And I see the personalities. I see your personality. We've spent time. And a variety of other people I've spent time with, and I've been absolutely changed and coloured by the work as a whole, by its integration and its reflection back. I've seen people be possibly, I don't know, but as a group, maybe their best selves. I mean, when I go on Twitter, which is not very much these days, and see how supportive every one of you are. Like, one person gets a photograph and the other people go, I'm so happy for you, for you. That's the type of selflessness that I practice in my spirituality. I would aspire to practice in my life and such, And you guys are actively, practically doing that. And that to me says, catch a wake-up call. This is how it can be. It's how it can be. And hopefully society, as we sort of come out of this, if you believe in the Indian sort of spirituality at all, or Buddhism and all the rest, if you're into all that type of stuff, the Indians talk about that they talk about these great sort of cycles of time called yugas. Great cycles of time, 24,000 year cycles. And they say that we've just all been in the Kali Yuga, which is down at the bottom. It's the darkest sort of, most difficult period in a 24,000 year Yuga. And the pundits say, well, we're just coming out of the Kali Yuga into a time of sort of being a bit better. And they call it the Dwapara Yuga. Now, if that's to be believed, we're all coming out as society around the world, global society, out of a very, very dark and difficult time. And it's gone on for a couple of thousand years. It's been, luckily the Kali Yuga, according to them, is much shorter than the other Yugas. But we're coming into a more enlightened era of the Dwapara Yuga. And if that's to be believed, if the energy does support that, then this type of society where you sort of look out for the next person and are kind to the next person and are inclusive of the next person. Well, I'm all about it. I want it to ripple out, and I want us to all can grab on. And look, sure, there's a certain amount of make-believe. We're all here, we're all make-believe artists as well as really real practical people in the world. But don't just let it be about a con. Take it into the office, take it into the workplace, and ripple it out further. And even if they are still dicks to you, that you've given them something to think about, So yeah, by all means, it's absolutely shifted me and changed me and challenged me to be better myself.
There's part of it that's really scary, meeting these people that embody characters that have, changed my life, and
have meant so much, and you just met and exceeded those expectations.
Oh, thank you. That's very
Thank
flattering.
you for being you and just being here.
Thank you. That's very sweet. Thank you for saying that. Thank you.
Have you ever thought about doing inspirational speeches?
Actually, as I was toward the end of that, I was like, oh shucks, I hope I don't mean to be preachy.
For hours, and you're just
Like I said, just read the dictionary.
Give me the dictionary, come on!
Have you thought about voicing a GPS navigational?
Yes. I was asking if you could be the next Siri.
Or the next James Bond?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be great. I'd love to be both of those, actually. You'll never be able to get away from me then. I'll be
Bucket
Siri.
list.
I'm there for it.
That's hilarious.
I actually
I'll
just
be like, eat your vegetables!
That's it.
Arrived at your destination.
Actually, no, like, I wanted to say thank you too. Like, I'm actually sitting next to someone I met through the jersey that, like, because of you, I was like, well, maybe I'll just start selling them. And she's wearing Core right now, and so, yeah. So I just wanted to say thank you. Like, I'm actually sitting next to someone I met through Twitter because of these jerseys, so, like, thank you.
Community, it's building people up, right?
Mwah.
Coming together. It's awesome.
So you mentioned that this 10-year expectation kind of puts some pressure, but how does it feel knowing that even after all these 10 years that most of us have been waiting, it's so positive? Like, we've received the game with open arms, with its flaws and with its virtues. How does it feel knowing that we've received this game so positively?
It's been amazing. It's surpassed our expectation, I think, across the board. All of the lads were like, well, Robbie said he thought he would, you know what he said yesterday, he thought it would sort of match expectation, but then he sort of caveated it with, but then again, actually more so. So yeah, no, it's been a thrill. I mean, we couldn't have possibly anticipated this type of reaction to it. We really couldn't. And it's a great relief. I know it's a great relief to the Japanese company that his brainchild is, and certainly to us. I mean, we're only the very most recent foot soldiers of it. But all of us are just like, thank you God. And we were talking about why does it sort of touch people? I think it's rather cleverly, and it's probably not a game idea that I would make, or I would make sort of when I was maybe a slightly younger person, but I mean, it's amazing. It's just, there's so many different things that you can do in it, and so somehow it appeals to everybody. There's really something for everybody. So yeah, I don't know, it's kind of genius, and it's not something that I would expect to be such a massive hit. Going fishing or cooking with Ignis, I'd be like, oh, is that interesting? It kind of is in a way, and it's sort of I don't know, it feels a bit like home sometimes. I think people sort of relate to it somehow. All the things that you can do, the cutesiness of it, and the practical things that you can do. I don't know, it's quite fascinating the way they put it all together. I'd like to actually have that discussion with the writer and sort of go, why did you think that this would work? Because clearly it does. For all its flaws, despite all its flaws. But thank you for the reaction. It's just been fun.
It's been great. As someone who waited for the game as it was completely being developed and everything, I think receiving the game, actually having it in my hands when it came out, was the greatest thing ever, because like I did my 10-year wait.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's amazing. Yes.
We were not this for a time.
We're all in the crystal. Interesting. That's really fine.
Last question, I swear I want everyone else to have a turn, but I have to know, since Tabata-san has confirmed that, the guys, try not to be too spoiler, they do make it, to the end of the game after, everything that happens with Noct. I want to know, what is your personal vision for how Ignis may have lived out the rest of his life? Because, I'm sorry, I'm getting feelsy now, but, ever since Ignis was a child, his life has revolved around Noctis, and, now at the end, he doesn't have that purpose anymore. So how do you think Ignis might have lived out his years?
That's a very good question.
Thanks, Satan.
You all want to know. I just want to know what your take is on it, because, we all have our own personal visions for,